Oh, my.
Karaoke, can we start? Council karaoke.
Do they have problems before? What's going on?
Good evening and welcome to the Monday, August 25th, 2025 meeting for the city of Lamar. I'm Mayor Kirk Crispin. Sorry about being late tonight. We had our budget discussion with our department heads, and the budget time is always a very interesting time for the city. That's where we have to look at the needs and wants and wishes of our department heads and what is needed for our city. And it's very difficult, and it takes long discussions to really sort out what's needed and what's really wanted and determine from there. One of the things that we discussed was in these discussions back and forth was, what about manpower and what do we need on manpower? And I'm bringing this up because we have one department right now that's struggling a little bit because of some challenges that they're facing. You know, we have our animal control officers and our code enforcement officers who do a fine job on trying to protect our city and take care of our city and making sure the codes are met. And our animal control officers have been doing a really good job on trying to help with the large amount and increasingly large amount of loose dogs that are out in the streets of Lamar. We've had a huge issue over the last few months this summer altogether with dogs being off leash, dogs running at large, so much so that the code enforcement officers and the animal control officers can't keep up with it. We're actually having to put our regular officers out there to help solve these problems. And our regular officers, of course, have other things that they would like to do. It's hard for them to go out and focus on drug enforcement activities or dealing with thefts or other robberies and of such when they're focused on somebody's loose dog or somebody's dog is off the leash. So I'm asking the community, and you're going to hear a lot more about this over the upcoming weeks. We're going to start putting a big, massive effort towards pushing to more of a zero tolerance on dogs that are off the leash. So we're going to look at what fees and fines we can assess to make sure that people are taking care of their pets and being responsible adults in our community with their pets. And we hope that you will work with us and that you'll take that to heart. And as we move forward, we start addressing these problems together as a community, because that's really all we're looking for. All we want is to have a better community for all. So with that said, we are going to move on to our meeting. First off, we have an invocation, and tonight we have Pastor DeBus here. Did I say that correctly?
Divas.
DeBus.
Yes.
DeBus. Okay, thank you.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we just come before you this evening, and first off, just give you thanks. Thanks for the God that you are. Father, you are so much and so many things. We're thankful that you're a provider. Father, you are a God of love, and we come before you and we just praise you. We thank you for this gathering, this meeting here in this community, and these citizens and these leaders and these civil servants this evening, that we have the freedom and the ability, Father, and we just praise you for that. Father, I pray for during tonight's meeting, throughout in this session and each of the items that are up for discussion, Father, that you can provide courage to the leaders, to the council, Father, that you can provide wisdom. Father, may you just continue to let them seek you in their leadership and their decisions, in the discussion. Father, I even pray for compassion and unity, not only for the civil servants, for these leaders in this council, but for the citizens in the community. Father, that there can be a unified discussion. There can be every word that is uttered or said or stated, that it's all for your glory, that everything that we do is just and it's fair and it's right. So, Father, thank you that we have this opportunity. Father, what a blessing to come together, and that we come to just continue this community, that we can do all things through you and in you. Father, may you abide in us this evening in this meeting. Father, thank you for each one of these people that are here tonight, that represent this community, that live within the community, Father, and throughout this city. Father, may we continue in everything that we do for your purpose. for your divine guidance. Father, we seek you and we adore you. We praise you and we lift every one of these words and these prayers up to you, for it's in your Son's precious and mighty name, our Savior Jesus, that we pray. Amen.
Councilman Bates, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:23 PM. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez,
Here.
Shayla Motta. Here. Jerry Jenkins. Here. Kirk Crispin.
Here.
David Zabala.
Here.
Manuel Temez.
Here.
Brent Bates.
Here.
Kristen Swartz. Here. Lance Clark.
Here. Okay, we've all had an opportunity to review the agenda. I did not see any changes for the agenda. Did anyone else?
I didn't see any.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. I didn't see any bills that needed to be voted on separately. Did we have anything that needed to be separated? Do we have a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, moving on to the next portion of the meeting, we have the public comment portion of the meeting. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that is at the discretion of the council. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the city council on an item? Okay. All right, seeing none. We will move on. Of course, that is always an opportunity for you to come in and talk to the city council. So I encourage you to use that when you choose to. We will move on to the city treasurer's report. Kristen?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'll just keep it brief. We've been doing all things Tyler. We did go live in financial. We've got a few bumps, but it's going well and everyone's excited to get to start to use it. And next week we start payroll. So that's my Tyler update.
Along with budget.
Along
In the
with
middle of it
budget,
all.
in the middle of it all.
Right.
Yes. sir. Unless anybody has any questions for me, I think I've talked enough tonight. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any questions for the treasurer?
I don't have any.
All right, we'll move on to the city clerk's report.
And I have no report tonight unless anybody has any questions for me.
Okay, any questions?
I don't have any.
All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the city administrator's report. Would you like to start, Manuel, or would you like for me to, or?
I'll cover the events and.
Okay.
So the city offices are gonna be closed Monday, September 1st in observance of Labor Day. The 9/11 Tri-State Tribute Parade and festivities will be on Saturday, September 6th. Parade starts at 10 a.m. and will begin at Beach and 6th and proceed south to Cedar Street and then south on 9th Street, ending at the Prowers County Fairgrounds. There will be a flag retirement ceremony at 11:30 a.m. performed by the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts. The barbecue will begin at noon. Lamar Lions Club, the 20 by 30-foot American flag raising, and then the ice cream social will be at 3 o'clock. Lamar Cub Scouts Pack 223 is hosting a joint night on Thursday, August 28th at 6 p.m. at the Lamar Christian Church. They'll be showing the live action movie Stitch starting at 6 p.m. This is open to the community. Anybody that's interested in signing their kids up for Cub Scouts, please attend. Common Grounds on Wednesday, September 6th. Third. Yep. September 3rd, 7 a.m. in the Cultural Event Center. We want to invite you personally, show up, come and get a cup of coffee and a donut and get to speak with council members that are in attendance.
Only other thing was the CML Fall District Meeting will be happening on September the 25th in Los Animas. We do need to get council members who will be attending this Colorado Municipal League Fall District Meeting on September the 25th in Los Animas. We'll just need to count for that.
Okay, I plan on attending that. So.
Okay, Brent, will you?
I've already replied to Mary that I'll be there.
Okay. David? And I'll be there. Jerry? Shayla?
I'll be unavailable.
I will be there.
So everyone
Now, is this Los Angeles, Colorado or Trinidad?
Los Animas, Colorado.
Okay.
Everybody except for Shayla, not calling you out, but. No, just kidding. They're
You want
Shayla.
me to start on the department updates?
Sure,
I'll do
certainly.
the first three.
Okay,
For human resources, the annual wellness fair is scheduled for September 23rd and 24th for the city employees. And CIRSA will be on site for training in October. Gallagher 2026 renewal plan meeting scheduled for, it was today. The library, the Shared Memories Lab will be installed tomorrow in the library and hopefully be up and running by the end of the week. Story times resume next week on Wednesday, September 3rd at 10 a.m. for tots, and Friday, September 5th at 10 for sixth grade. Library Carnival is Friday, September 5th at 10 a.m. For the police department, they're working on compiling and sending traffic speed accident data to the company conducting the Lamar traffic and street study in preparation for their site visit. And they're continuing to work on public safety building and architectural designs, which have been mostly completed for the initial draft.
okay. IT, the Information Technology Department, is working on Tyler, which is our new accounting program. They're still working on getting the users the training that they need, as well as training for themselves. Also working on migrating purchasing from their legacy software to Tyler. They're working on new processes and procedures, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. They are working on an e-cycle program, which we are in the process of cleaning up the e-waste in our office. Prior to e-cycle, devices such as hard drives must be erased of all city and personally identifiable information. Drives are wiped with a DoD 5220.22M method if they can. If they are unable to read write the drive, it is destroyed physically before they get rid of that. They are also working on new backup to accommodate the addition of the new Tyler servers and the migration of the Aclara server. Parks and Rec, they are still continuing to work on Escondido Park. They had a successful event last Friday with the skateboard program. That was the event that happened on Friday afternoon. Congratulations to them on a great event. Public Works completed the new parking lot north side of Escondido Soccer Field last week. Crews are working on the fence and berms for the archery range this week, and the crews will kick off for their annual milling and paving project next week with weather permitting. So lots of different things happening within the city. Our department crews are working hard, and we thank them for everything that they do. Moving on to the next portion, unless you have any questions for the administrators.
I don't have any.
Okay. I can give you an update for the city administrator search that it is narrowed down to, we had 3 individuals that dropped out of the process. It is narrowed down to 4. We should be receiving that information later today, if not tomorrow, for those 4 candidates, and we will narrow it down to 2 and hopefully be announcing who those will be in the near future. Moving on, now we have the reports and correspondence from the council. Joe?
Okay, on the golf board side, I did have a chance to meet with them, sit in on their meeting, and the superintendent reported that there was some damage to hole number 4 and number 9. It appears that a hydraulic hose had caused the leak during their mowing operations and killed some of the grass on those fairways. He did repair them and made some repairs on those and the mowers itself. A motor to the sprinkler system needed repaired at $1,800, and they're looking to repair another sprinkler system for that area as well. On some of their older business, they did receive a Butler grant this year, right around $6,500. The tournaments that just passed here was the Angel Open. That's always a fun tournament. They had great weather, and they sold out on that. And they just recently had their club match tournament. They had a champion out of that who was local. The tournaments that are coming up here soon will be the 2-shot. They are currently visiting with sponsorship on that. and so forth, reaching out to sponsors. They're hoping to get some sponsorship from JVA again this year. Haven't gotten any word yet if they've gotten sponsorship from JVA. Now they also are having a Labor Day tournament that's coming up, and there's still a lot of openings for the Labor Day tournament on that. Other than that, I believe that is it on my notes for the golf board side. I also had the chance to meet with PEP. They had their regular meeting. On the state side, PEP had a gal come down from the state to visit about the Rural Jumpstart Program. Her name was Kenya Weber Shirk. Is that right? Anyway, she came down and gave a presentation to the PEP board and commissioners and all those that were on the board about a rural jumpstart program about how to get businesses started in the rural communities. She visited and let them know that there was an 8-year incentive, tax incentive for those new businesses to where they could get up to 8 years of 100% of their tax returns back. And that they're able to get a one-time grant from 15,000 up to 25,000, one-time grant, which they don't have to pay back. I mean, so there was a lot to offer, but there was a lot of requirements that was needed to be a part of that Rural Jumpstart program. So if anybody's interested, I would encourage you to reach out to somebody from the PEP department and they can guide you in that direction. If you're interested in the Rural Jumpstart program, they've also visited a little bit about wanting to tint the windows on their building. So they were out getting more information on tinting the windows on their building there. And they were talking about their financials, nothing out of the ordinary with their financials. Everything was in place. You know, they run a really tight ship there. They did mention there that they want to start incentivizing or start the program to where they're going to pay mileage and their hotel fees for their employees there, you know, when they travel for business, which I feel is a good start right there, and they're on board and they're ready to get that program kicked off. Other than that, they go around the board and they start asking counties, you know, what's going on in their area. The only one that really stuck out to me was Holly. Their manager there mentioned that they are getting ready to start their $12 million it's a water project. It's going to be for the next 4 years, a little bit longer. And they're looking at about $12 million for that project right there that they're going to be kicking off over there in Holly. Other than that, Grenada, Wiley, and something like that there, that was really nothing else mentioned, but that's all I have for the city council for tonight.
Okay. Shayla.
The airport board was scheduled to meet last week, but was unable to do so due to a lack of quorum, but they'll try again for September. That is a good chance to remind you, if you are interested in being on the airport board or any of the open boards, to please put an application in. It's a great opportunity.
Okay. Jerry.
Public safety did meet and we got some really good information, but like Chief Ritter said, they'll announce the information next month. But we did want to give out a big shout out to the police department because we did notice, I noticed the officers parked on Main Street as school was starting the last few days. I've seen them out there and it was really nice to see that. I couldn't figure out why the traffic was slow, but I seen the officer. But again, thank you for that. And we'll get you the information that they gave us at the next meeting.
Okay. David.
Yes, we had a meeting with planning and zoning with Michael Yerman regarding the chapter 30 zoning, which I believe we do have a discussion on that here in a bit, and that's all I have.
Daniel.
Water board did meet. It was a short meeting, but overall, Robbie was sharing with us that the wells are sitting at higher levels this year than they were at this time from last year. And so we're better seated this year than we were last year at this time with the wells.
That's great.
Adjustment and appeals meets on Wednesday. So I don't have anything.
Okay. And I really don't have anything. I kind of mentioned about the issues that I've had, have been told about with the pets that are off leash and how we wanted to make that new plan to help work on that program, but that's about all we had. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have a zoning code update that was initiated by Anne Marie Crampton, who is our community development director.
Hopefully this will be very brief. As you recall, we contracted with my rural planner to work with the Planning and Zoning Commission on a comprehensive rewrite of the zoning and subdivision code. He's been working diligently with planning and zoning to accomplish those goals. Including this, then, working some review sessions. And asking for the recommendations as well. Stephanie Struby is to be commended since she's technically out of building department, but she has continued with me to review sections and work through COVID recommendations. Michael will meet on Tuesday with Mr. Clark to go over some code questions that he has. We legal recommendations. So I did want to go over a few dates that are important for this process. On this Thursday, Planning and Zoning Commission and the Council will receive a clean draft of Chapter 30 with a staff report that outlines the important changes to be noted in the draft, Chapter 30. On the 2nd of September, Council and Planning and Zoning will have a joint work session at 6 p.m. for an overview and discussion of proposed changes and plus final feedback from both committees. On the 17th of September, Planning and Zoning will hold a public meeting at 6 p.m. to consider a formal recommendation council for the adoption of updated zoning and subdivision codes. On October 13th, council will hopefully get that for a first reading of the revised ordinance. On the 27th of October, they'll be looking at a second reading of the revised ordinance and potential final approval. And this is all to prepare for, first of all, rewriting our codes so they're usable and substantially more user friendly for our community and our staff. But it also helps us to adopt an expedited review process for affordable housing, which will allow us to receive a $50,000 Proposition 123 grant for affordable housing. When we get that copy of the Chapter 30 document and his staff report, please read through it. It's a heavy lift. That's all 5 days. It's important really connect with them, make sure they feel comfortable with it. Just don't have questions.
He wanted to have the work session tonight and go through everything tonight. But he was gonna give it to us today and we wouldn't have very long to look at it. So Anne Marie and I were talking about it last week and thought it would be best if we give the council at least a few days or a weekend to review the documents before we meet with them next Tuesday, which would be Tuesday night, to review this during the work session. So will that work for everybody on the council for next Tuesday night?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. The only other thing on Tuesday night is if we do receive all of the information back for the city administrator search, we may tack that on to the end of that meeting, of that work session, so we can try to get that hammered out as a work session as well. So just thought I'd throw that in that we might tack onto it since we're there. Kill two birds with one
You'll
stone.
be personally buying us dinner, correct?
Skittles for everyone.
Green only.
Skittles and water. Fruit group. All right. Anything else? All right. Any questions for Anne Marie before she leaves?
I don't have any.
Thank you, Anne Marie. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the fiscal year 2025 to 2026 Colorado State Grants for Libraries. This is initiated by Sue Lathrop, our librarian. Sue, how are you this evening? Good.
Last year, we got about $5,900 from the state of Colorado to buy library materials. We bought mostly books, a couple of months worth of database and STEM kits for kids to check out, especially the homeschoolers. This year, we think that we'll get about $5,900 again. And I am here to request that you approve that grant and authorize the treasurer to make the drawdowns.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
The same one every year. Look good, Lance?
I haven't looked at it, but I can look at it if there's any changes that were made to it.
They have not mentioned any changes to us.
You can approve it with attorney review.
I approve the request as outlined, pending attorney review.
That work?
I'll,
City does have to be advised on September 15th.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Joe and Manuel.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda is appointments to the Vail Board, Victims and Witness Assistance Law Enforcement Board. This is initiated by Vail Board members. I don't know who that would be, but it is a term for Mrs. Roseanne Yates and Debbie Begue on the Victims and Assistance Witness Law Enforcement Board, expired on August the 1st. According to the council policy, all vacancies to this board, all city boards and commissions are required to be advertised in local media. Copies of the position vacancy were sent to the local media. 2 applications were received. The Vail Board received application for Deborah Begue as well as Roseanne Yates. The board recommends the reappointment of Mrs. Roseanne Yates and Mrs. Debbie Begue to the board with the expiration dates of August 1st, 2028. So that's what the recommendation is. Council, what would you like to do?
Move to reappoint Mrs. Roseanne Yates and Mrs. Debbie Begue at the board's recommendation.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Item number 4, scholarship application for youth registrations. This is initiated by Anthony Latour. Anthony,
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
evening.
This is a discussion that we had prior with the About Face grant, with utilizing some of their funding for our recreation scholarships for our youth registration. Lance did take a look at it and make the changes that was necessary. And see if that attended. And so we were asking for approval so that we can start receiving scholarships, receiving applications.
And who will be doing the approval of the scholarships, or is it a group? Is it an individual? Who would be responsible for that?
So that'd be Tendon and myself. So once we receive the application, there's 3 steps of verification. We have to verify the information based off of free and reduced lunch to the school district, their financial need or emergency assistance, through the Cards County Department of Human Services, or any other special needs that's requested.
Okay. Okay, and you didn't see any issues when you reviewed it?
I made a couple of changes to it, basically that this grant would only be for the life of the funds that are available. So, it can be terminated at any point.
Okay. Any other questions, council?
Make a motion. You go for it.
He said he didn't have any.
Make a motion to approve the application and allow them to start receiving.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is Escondido Field Top Dressing. We do have an individual that is on the Zoom right now. Eric, right?
Hello. Hello, everybody. Mr. Mayor. Good
Hello.
to be here with you guys this evening.
Kind of barely hear it. Just a second. They're going to turn up the volume for us. Start here. Might have to crank it all the way up.
Are you guys able to hear me a little bit better now?
Yeah, we had to take it all the way to 100.
We had to take it all the way to the top. How about now?
Yeah. Can you
Can
guys
you
hear
try
me?
again, Eric?
Yep. How about now? Is this good?
Yes.
All right. Well, hey,
Much
it's good to
better.
see you again, Mr. Mayor and Council. Nice to meet you guys. Anthony asked me to sit in today. I'll let him go ahead and kind of introduce what we got going here, I suppose.
Yes, so Eric is the one that redid the field. What we're asking for today is funding to top dress the field. The field will need to be top dressed at least one time a year.
Now, do we
Yeah.
have the total dollar amount for that?
Do you have that?
The total dollar,
It's not in the packet. That's why I was asking.
yes, it's $15,000 and $500.56.
15,556. And this is not budgeted right now because we don't have that in the budget. Is that correct, Kristen?
That's correct.
And there are no funds in the conservation fund?
I believe we've committed all of those for the contract.
Okay. So that's what caused it to be kind of a thing that we brought back to the council, or I asked to have it brought back to the council. Because it was not in the original bid to do that this soon, and it wasn't included in the budget. So this is all new funding that we don't have scheduled or budgeted at all. So it does make it a little trickier to come up with 15,000 out of the blue.
Is it a shared expense with the college?
No, this is not a shared.
Is there a reason why?
It was never asked. Well, we didn't know that it was gonna be needed this soon.
Did we know that this was gonna be coming up before we entered the contract?
Well,
I
I
think that
think,
one's for you, Eric.
yeah, no, I'd be happy to answer that. So the contract was implemented for the renovation of the sports park itself. The actual request to top dress is part of the maintenance program that would be tied to, the ongoing work that the city's doing with the college as it represents the use and the play of the college. So this is just part of I guess would be the expected maintenance going into a high level soccer season for Lamar Junior College. And I think it's important to make sure you get the weight and the organics down over that soccer field to protect it. It's part of the maintenance that we need to look at.
I mean, we haven't even used the field and so it's already needing to be maintained. I mean, don't you think that would have been included in its initial putting it down? I mean, I could see where next year, yeah, it's gonna need some maintenance. They've used it, but I would have thought that would have been part of, we're just getting the field and they haven't even used it yet and already we're maintaining it.
The situation at Escondido Park is unique. It's the irrigation creates a challenge. We all know the salinity and the water that's being used there is creating the situation that we're in with the actual maintenance and creating the problems that the soccer field had through the course of the year last year. This is something that we're presenting to you guys as a potential. It's something that I feel like should be done going into each season. It's part of a maintenance program. If it's certainly up to you guys whether you want to run a program like this. It's a high level soccer field, so you need to consider it. We're not asking anything that other facilities don't do.
I think the issue is that it was a surprise thing that we weren't expecting, we didn't have budgeted, we didn't plan for. And I know our agreement said that we needed to follow your prescription to make sure that it was under the warranty. But my concern is that 2 months from now, you're gonna say, oh, no, we gotta add this as well. And we gotta add this as well. And 2 months later, and pretty soon we're end up, 5 different projects along the way that we didn't have budgeted. And we didn't have any notification for it. We didn't have any preparation for it, no way to budget for it. And I think that's where the frustration is at, Eric. It's because it was an unexpected expense.
Sure.
And my fear is that this is gonna become a money pit because every 6 months we may end up with something new that, well, it's part of a maintenance plan that you should be doing if you're gonna have this kind of a field. Well, that's great, but we need to know now so that we can put it in our budget for next year. We needed to know 6 months ago, so we could have put it in the initial budget for the new install of the field. that's where I think the frustration is coming at. Is that fair to say, guys?
Absolutely.
Certainly.
And I understand there's a lot of pre-maintenance on any type of playing field before seasons start. And I'd assume with your background, you do too. And I feel like that's something that should have been relayed on to the council before we entered into this project to resurface the field of fully knowing what that, not just what the prescription is for maintenance, but what those costs to be incurred are.
Well, especially at $15,000 a year added to what we've already just done to it.
You know,
We
the,
expect there's gonna be to do. It's just, it would be nice to know
Ahead of
what
time.
those are. If you have a year's plan or a maintenance plan that you can give us so that we can plan for next year, that we can plan for the remainder of this year, so we're not trying to approve it on a whim. I think that's where I would like to see us have something that's gonna give us a schedule of maintenance.
yeah, and I can, you know, I understand where you guys are coming from, where the council's coming from. I totally get it, right? We just keep prescribing a new approach and a new process that we need to try. I get it. It could be a money pit very quickly, but I think this is something that you guys would want to consider, something we want to look at. And maybe it's something we look at for, you know, next year. But I think it's important that, you know, I have submitted a maintenance plan to Anthony. And most of it works within the scope of your parks budget now for the park. You know, something like this is unique. It's something that should be done on a facility like that. The issue is not the labor or the material, it's the freight getting to you from where we're at. That's what increases the price. So, you know, that's a bummer because there's nothing we can do about that. The labor itself is, you know, $3,000. It's a nominal cost for the benefit, but unfortunately it's the freight and the uniqueness of the distance from where you guys are at geographically. And that's just something you guys probably have had to deal with before, but I think it's something you need to look at. You know, when I present these things to Anthony, I present it in a way that he can look at it and see the benefit to it and then present it to you guys. This is why we have the conversation. You know, my relationship with you guys is not of interest, you know, to continue to profit off your, you know, management of this facility. That's not it. We wanted to get you guys right. We committed to this to make you guys right. So you guys should present this, and Anthony should present this to you guys in another time where you can look at this into next year maybe. But I think it's something that you know we can look at doing other things to get the field, some of the repairs and some of the seams that have shown itself. So there's things we can do right now that we can, you know.
So what kind of top dressing is this? Is this a specific type of
Yeah, so what it is,
soil?
it's the same
type of
sand that
sand?
it's the same sand that we built the complex on. We added some organics to it. And the reason being is it, you know, it puts weight on the field, protects the crown of the plant from foot traffic. So we were presenting a 1/4 of an inch top dressing that would protect the basically the crown and the rhizomes of the grass from foot traffic. You know, that's really the only way to maintain these types of facilities with that much use, because it's a really high-end facility. You guys got some big time play there, and you got to manage that. And, you know, unfortunately, you guys don't have the budget to do that. Because simply this is just a basic cultural management application that should be done before every season. Yeah, and you know, when we talked, the proposal for the renovation of Escondido Sports Park was completely separate from the potential maintenance. So this is something you guys need to look at in the future. If you decide not to do it now, it's something that you'll need to look at going into next year for sure.
So is the field survivable for a season of soccer if we implement something next year?
I think so. I mean, that's the reason why we did it, right? Is to get it playable and safe for the kids. I think we're
That's
there.
the hope.
Yeah. So, you know, again, I think there's some things that need to be brought to your attention regarding the challenges of that facility. You know, one of which is the irrigation program. That's a difficult thing to manage, but you guys need to look at this for the future. And, you know, I think everything else that we've presented to Anthony is well within and is within the scope of their budget right now. So am I right, Anthony?
Yeah, so this would be the third item on the maintenance schedule. We fertilized it, we put the extra chemical down. So the top dressing is something that we would need to do yearly. Our current top dresser, is not feasible for what we need. Ours is a backdrop top dresser. We need one that spreads out. And again, the soil's got to come from somewhere else. We wouldn't be able to use wash and sand or something to get from a port.
The question that I have is how many tons are we needing for this process? And is it located in the United States? Where is it coming from?
It's coming from northern Colorado, so Fort Lupton is where my gravel pit is located. And what was your other question?
How many tons?
Oh, it's for a 1/4 inch depth over the game field itself was 150 tons. Plus we wanted to put some over where the schools are practicing right now. I guess would be the north side of the complex.
I mean, we don't want to start this off on the wrong foot by any means. I mean, I think we cut some corners last time. We don't want to cut corners, but I guess my question is because we're going to be pulling this out of amended budget and we're doing something that's not planned for. You know, I guess I really need to know how important it is because I don't want to ruin the field by any means, but at the same time, I don't want to ruin our budgets. If
No,
that makes sense. I mean, we don't want to put the city in danger by any means financially.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that.
So do you think it's necessary enough to where we should do this year?
I think it's necessary enough to consider doing it this year. I do. And that's, you know, my opinion based on my experience managing high level facilities, managing parks and rec. My background is 15 years at a parks department, before I started this company. So, you know, I understand the challenges, but I also know, you know, what needs to be done in order to get this thing right. You know, I think what would be ideal in the future is to look at local sourcing for sand and maybe see if we can work with a gravel pit or an operation down there where we can cut some of these freight costs out. Because I mean, really, if you guys were to look at the proposal that we presented, all of it is affordable. It's just the exposure of freight is ridiculous. And I can't get around that.
Yeah.
You know, so
My
there's,
concern is, what should we put in this year? 200 and some thousand? And if
Yeah,
his opinion and his expertise is that it should be done, my worry is if we don't do it, now we're out. the
Waste the
whole-
200,000 or, yeah.
And I think we can give it this year, and I would like to see over the next year, you potentially come down and look at these gravel pits and see if there's the quality of sand we need. I'd also like a written out line item of what the annual expectation is. And if you already have it, Anthony, I'd like to be presented that to council of what that prescription is between chemical, between top dressing, between fertilizer, so we know what to expect every year.
Well, our shipping was Eric mentioned was our biggest cost. So would it be worthwhile to visit with Pat, see if Pat can provide some type of shipping? When we ran into that special emergency where we needed that pump, we sent,
Rob,
not Rob, we sent
Martin.
Martin down to go pick up that pump. And that saved us a tremendous amount of money in shipping. So I'm thinking if we can get two belly dumps here, that's 80 tons of load. That's 2 loads right there for 2 drivers up to Fort Lumpton and back in one day. CDL Class A, 2 drivers, 2 loads.
and we don't necessarily have to look at putting a 1/4 inch down. We could put a 1/4 inch down in some of the areas that we know are high use, maybe like in the middle of the field, you know, the goal kick area, the goal boxes, something like that. And then we could go light, you know, around the field. I just think we need to look at protecting the area.
If we're gonna do it, we do the full field.
It's still the freight that's costing.
That's why I
Right.
mentioned, we
Right,
visit with Pat, see if Pat can, you know, figure something out to where we can take 2 truck drivers up there 2 belly dumps and bring back 2 loads of that sand.
Well, I think if we can work with him to try to see where we can cut costs on that sand, but we still need to make a decision, I guess, either way. And my suggestion would be to see if we can just approve the estimate as given at the 15,556. And hopefully between now and the time we go to deliver, we can work with Eric to see if there's a way that we could save some money. Okay,
Well, if it's especially if it's the shared field and it's supposed to be a shared expense.
but were you planning on doing this delivery of the
No.
sand? Was that this week or is that next week? When were you looking at delivery?
Eric, how soon would you be able to deliver?
Well, we could do, I'm having a little trouble hearing you, Anthony. But if you're asking when we would want to deliver, it'd be once you get approval, we'd get the sand delivered and we'd be down the next day to spread it.
And
Like tomorrow or the day after?
I think
And
realistically,
would it-
are you guys getting weather down there right now this week?
A little bit, not
Yeah,
much.
I mean, it would be worth, we'd be 2 to 3 days of, scheduling and getting trucks down there and getting sand down. It wouldn't take but, 3-4 hours to get the sand spread.
And when is the first game?
First game is scheduled for September 1st.
So Monday.
And Friday, Saturday, there's 2 double headers.
So even if we wanted to, if they deliver, they wouldn't be able to play on the field. Because the sand would be there, not spread out yet, right?
Well, Eric, are you guys spreading it? Who's spreading it?
Yeah, I could have
Okay.
my crew spread it.
And that would be included in the cost for the 15,000?
Yes.
So you'd be able to get that done by this weekend. We have
Yes,
no weather the rest of the week. It's cloudy tomorrow.
Yeah, we would be able to get it done.
That's the tough part.
Would you recommend to put the sand down before the first game?
Yes, that would be the target. That's what we were hoping to do.
Like we're between a rock and a hard place.
Should have been brought up way sooner.
Well, what would you guys like to do? We need to make
Well,
a
at the-
decision and move
At
forward.
limiting the risk of ruining a $200,000 upgrade to that field, I think we have to just move forward. And in the time between now and next year, like I said, we need to get these prices. We're doing budgeting right now for 26, Eric. So
Yeah.
we need to get a list of what we're looking at for 2026 on this field's maintenance.
And I think you put that on your request for the top dressing and
That's where it came yearly.
So right now, we're just looking at chemical fertilizing and top dressing annually.
Yeah.
Outside of labor costs for maintenance. Okay. Then I make a motion to approve or proceed with the estimate and get the field top dressed this week.
do we need to ask for a motion, move the funds or anything like that?
I don't know what we do.
I have no idea. I can't overspend it. I don't have the money in conservation trust, so it's gonna come out of parks.
Okay,
Well, I agree with you guys. I mean, we've got a lot of money invested in this field alone. And we can't let it die for $15,000.
No.
But when this thing was brought up to redo it and
So let's back up here for a
So-
second, because you guys are talking about this dying if we don't do it. That's not the case. This is what I've presented to Anthony and we're presenting to you guys is a cultural management portion of the soccer field program that we would like to do. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to fail on this field. I'm with you guys from start to finish on this. If we need to look at going another route, I'm more than happy about doing that. I think, like the gentleman was saying, I'm sorry, I can't see your name tags, but he mentioned maybe bringing a truck up and picking up some top dressings, and we can work with that. I mean, that might be something that's within our scope. I mean, let's look at that. I'm not gonna completely, remove myself from my obligation to follow through with what I've committed to with you guys just because you decide not to go with an unbudgeted item. I mean, I get where we're at. I think we just have to be creative and figure out how we can work through this. That's where we're at with this. This would be best case scenario, ideal situation for us going into the first week. That's what I presented to Anthony, not knowing his budget and his situation. So that's why, he's presenting this to you. I never at once said this has to be done or there's no way around this application. We can be creative and we can do some things where maybe you can get this done partially this year and we can look at doing it in the future. But I think it's something we need to look at doing. Or you do. You need to look at doing it in the future for this program's well-being. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It sure does. Well, that's why I made the suggestion, visit with Pat, see if we can cut our costs down.
I amend my motion to table until we get more information.
Yeah. So with that said, I'll
Back
be
with you
there
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to be there tomorrow. So I would like to get eyes on the field again and see what, where we're at going into this season, see how things are rooting in, and then we already have a plan with the coach to keep people off this. So let's, I think that's a good idea. I mean, I don't want to put the city in a position, because of this particular request at all. I mean, I think we can do some things creative, but I do think we need to talk about this going forward in the future as an option for you guys.
Okay. We'll meet tomorrow when you come down, and I know you're gonna be meeting with Anthony to review the field and see what the status is. And then you can maybe let us know after you've reviewed it to see if it is able to play on, or if you just, if we definitely need to have that on there, then we can bring it back to the council and for a discussion
Yeah, I
and
like
get a
that.
direction from there.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
Yep.
All right, we will plan for that. It was you had a motion to table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Shayla, second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, thank you, Eric. Thank you,
Okay.
Eric.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the time.
All right, bye. All right, next item on the agenda is warranty pool repairs through the Renosys Corporation. Anthony?
The pool is currently under warranty, and then we had some repairs done. We would like to get some more repairs done due to wear and tear that happened this season. And so in order for us to get that on the schedule, we need this agreement signed. This isn't signing guaranteed to a payment amount, but it is a signature to get us on the calendar. And then we can work out the details just like we did this year.
Okay. How much did we spend this year?
I think this year.
Oh, close to 6,000.
$5,700. The estimate that you signed last year was for $10,100. And then as part of the repairs was under warranty and the other part was not.
Okay. Okay.
So this would come out of the 26 budget? Okay, and so on your recommendation, you have July 1 of 25 to June 30 of 25? Is that supposed to be June 30 of 26?
Is that what you?
Yeah.
That's what we were just looking at. Okay, so it would be July 1st of 2025 to June 30th of 2026 that they could utilize these funds, but this would be out of the 26th budget.
Well, we will still need. Yeah.
So it's just, you're just needing motion to be able to sign the agreement.
Correct.
Time frame.
Yeah, actually, it'll come on the schedule, so it's ready.
Let's
Have
give
you
it a chance to
reviewed
look
any of
over.
this?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, so if you can,
make it
if you
pending
approve it, then
review.
be pending my review.
Okay,
So one question I have, Anthony, is it seems to focus specifically on the membrane. Is that a covered, do you know if that's a covered under the warranty?
But it depends. The membrane itself is, but the question would be, why did the membrane come up from underneath the attachment to the concrete? Last year was because some of the jets we had weren't attached properly, allowing water to seep under. We got all of those jets repaired. So we are in high hopes that the membrane coming undone just due to wear and tear and Lots of foot traffic.
Okay,
And the agreement states the laws of state of Indiana and under with the jurisdiction of Marion County. How does that apply to Colorado?
and that would be because of their location. That's why they were putting that in there. Their corporate location. They had that in the last year. We had that discussion.
And that was something that, I guess, was to put the brain in years ago.
Yeah, because their address is in Indianapolis, Indiana. So if we're gonna approve it, we would need to approve it pending attorney review.
Is there a rush to get this done?
There's not a rush to get the repair done, there is a rush to get us on the schedule. So that we don't experience any delays going into.
Like we did this year.
Because we were scrambling there this year, trying to get the pool opened in time, and actually we opened it late. Because they could not come in and do the warranty work. Because they were delayed. But we didn't get it scheduled until later in the year, so that's why it was open late. So that's what the only part that's a rush is getting it on the schedule. And this was in your budget for the pool.
I make a motion to move forward depending on Lance's review of the documents there.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to move forward with the warranty repairs and review through Renosys Corporation. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda is the authorized staff to accept and sign the FACE grant agreement. This is for $5,000 to continue to support youth recreation. The FACE Collaborative Management Program offered this funding, and it was initiated by Anthony. Did you want to speak on this at all, or just leave it for Kristen? Did you want to speak on that?
It's just, you authorized us to apply for the grant. We applied and were awarded the grant.
Okay.
But in the motion, we did not put in there that we would have you sign the grant agreement. So we needed to bring it back to you to have the grant agreement approved by council and the mayor to sign.
And approve to accept
Accept the
and
grant
allow the mayor to
and
sign.
allow the mayor to sign.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Make a motion to accept and allow the mayor to sign the FACE grant agreement.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right. Next item on the agenda is a permission to apply for the Animal Assistance Foundation grant. This is initiated by Kristen as well
Yeah.
and Chief Ritter.
So this is the annual grant that we get through the Animal Assistance Foundation grant, and it helps pay for the salary for the animal shelter manager. So we're just asking for permission to apply, and we intend to apply for 15,000 and allow the mayor to sign the agreement upon the city attorney's approval, if awarded.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to authorize staff to apply for the Animal Assistance Foundation grant
Allow them to sign.
And
and allow the mayor to sign.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor
Aye.
signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, next item on the agenda, item number 9, permission to apply for the Walmart Local Store Giving Grant. Initiated by Kristen as well. This is for $3,000. There is no match.
Okay, so this grant isn't really for us. What happened is the Main Street Lamar Partnership, Inc., which is their legal name, Main Street Lamar, is that what you call them? Had made a deal with Walmart that they would donate for the corporate cup and be a sponsor. And then when they went in to apply for the funds, they could not apply for the funds because they're not a 501c3. So they asked Tess and I if it would be possible that we would get permission from council to go in and apply as the city of Lamar and pass through those funds back to Lamar Partnership, Inc. and allow the mayor to sign the agreement.
So their team and sponsorship was not official at the time of the event.
Right.
Okay. Make a motion to authorize staff to apply for the Walmart local giving grant and allow the mayor to sign.
And pass that through.
And pass that money
We'll have to
on
cut a
to
check back. to-
Lamar Lamar Partnership Inc., DBA Main Street, Lamar.
But we'll maintain it as a city of Lamar grant.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Agenda item number 10, ratify approval to submit DOLA Main Street Scholarship mini grants. This was a mini grant application that we did a phone poll for. So we are simply doing the ratification of that phone poll. It was a unanimous vote with David Zavala and Shayla Mata not being able to vote. So it was actually what would that be, a 5-2?
Still 5-0.
So this one, they gave us about 4 days. They just sprung it on us and we told them that we had to go through the proper channels to get it applied for. So what this one is Anne Marie had mentioned that she'd gotten word that it was 15,000. In the past, we've gotten 50,000 over 5 years. So I don't have the details on that. She has not sent that to us. So I just wanted you to,
Specifically for the.
the scholarship one, right?
It's not the mini grant from
It's
my
both.
understanding.
No, it's both. I confirmed that to
They're not
Friday.
getting the 10,000 a year now.
I don't know. They didn't give us an amount. So
What
it
I read in
was,
the email is that it was 15,000 a year with a $3,000 match for 5 years. So that
This
would
is-
make it 75, 15 times 5.
it also includes the scholarship. And those have been two separate and they are
Right.
still two separate.
Okay, well, it was on your email too.
Right.
Copied you in on the email.
Right. But then
So
when
you
we
just-
called her, the lady at Main Street, they weren't sure yet exactly. So she
Like
said
this
that
amount.
amount, that amount might change.
Okay.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. So when we get more information, we'll bring that back to you and give you the amounts
We
and.
approved tonight.
No,
This is
we've already
ratified.
approved. We had to apply that day. So we got it applied for. Tess got the application submitted. So as soon as we get any more information, we'll bring it back to you.
This is-
So I just wanted
And
to
the-
throw that in as a sidebar.
In the past, to your point, the 3,000 a year has been for like Main Street America.
Right.
For classes to be taken by the Main Street manager, from what I remember.
It was.
This
Yeah.
scholarship was separate. Now, I do understand things are changing because of the big beautiful bill and they don't know what's gonna happen
Exactly.
yet.
So I just wanted
So
to
in the
make that
past, it
clear.
has been a separate one with no match. It's just money for Main Street program to pay for those things.
But my point is, we're talking about all this stuff that it doesn't have anything to do with us ratifying a motion to apply. We do a motion to apply.
Mhm.
All we need to do is ratify that we authorize them to apply. Is that correct?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Next item on the agenda, schedule a public hearing for special event permit for Lamar Chamber of Commerce Oktoberfest event. The Chamber of Commerce has submitted an application for the special event permit to host a beer garden scheduled for October the 4th at 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Under CRS 4405-7107, it states that we have to do this application. Did you want to continue there with
I'm
what we
just
need?
requesting that you allow me to schedule the public hearing for September 8th.
And that would be as close to 7 o'clock as possible, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Make a motion to schedule a public hearing for September 8th for the Lamar Chamber of Commerce for their beer garden.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, any miscellaneous items that we need to go over? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next one. And actually, we had an executive session for sending out, for discussing terms relative matters that are for negotiations, developing a strategy for negotiations, and or instructing negotiators under Title CRS 246402 subsection 4 subsection E regarding the city administrator's search. There will be no decisions coming out of the executive sessions. This is just for discussing the next steps in this process. We will terminate the council meeting at the end of this discussion and close out the regular meeting session. Do we have a motion to go into?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, September the 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. We hope to see you then.